So I work at LASP in the Space Science Building, and I work for the MAVEN mission studying the aurora on Mars. So I do a lot of data analysis and computer coding. Usually I show up and either I'll have something to do that's to do with coding or going through data and figuring out error analysis kind of stuff. And then depending on what's going on that month with like conferences and stuff, I'll have other projects like reading papers or setting up presentations. A lot of my coworkers are really into space. A lot of them like to play D&D. My coworkers do a lot of the same stuff. Most people work on the computer, and some people make simulations. A lot of people just go through data. There are also people though that I work with that are like HR and just kind of like manager type people. And then I also work with professors, so they're the people who are like setting up tasks. A lot of the like receptionist type roles are played by women at the Space Science Building at least, and then a majority of the professors that work there are men, and I think for undergrads it's a mix of men and women. It's usually not an issue. Sometimes you'll get different tasks, it kind of feels like. A lot of the hardcore science and math stuff seems like it's done more by men than women, but at the same time it's mostly pretty equal, and it just kind of depends on what project you're working on. I think the only time it can be like intimidating is when you're going in for job interviews, but other than that, it's not really different between the two genders. Once you have a job, like, you don't feel intimidated, but like definitely going into job interviews, and if you're like the only girl interviewing for a position or something, it can be kind of weird. Most of the time the other candidates are also mostly men, and then usually the people that I've interviewed with anyway are men. Being a woman did affect my chances of getting a job, because for my first research position that I had at Gilla, the email I received about it was specifically asking for women applicants. So in that case, it increased my chance. And then for the job position I currently have now, I think, like I said earlier, it was just really intimidating because I'm pretty sure everyone else that interviewed with my boss was a boy. And so I guess being a girl can make you like kind of stand out in a good way, but it can also make you stand out in a bad way. Yeah, there's definitely higher ranking women at LASP. A lot of them are professors. There are very few, but there's definitely a handful of them. Most of them are men though. Yeah, I think they're definitely respected equally. It kind of seems like the women are not meaner, but just like they're harder about their work just because they need to like command respect more, I think. Being a woman in the field, I kind of think it depends what you want to go into. It can either help you or, I don't know, hurt your chances, I guess. Like, if you wanted to be a professor, it seems like it could help just because generally speaking there are a lot of like women teachers, and that's pretty normal. But if you wanted to, I don't know, just do research or work in industry, I think that's a male-dominated field, so it could hurt your chances. I think really it could go either way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes, I consent to being recorded for this video.